Okay, Dennis here for KingMakerForex.com. No big deal, just two or three things to point out here while we're continuing to demonstrate how KingMaker Forex works on stocks. Or maybe I should say we're trying to be sure that it works on stocks, and so far it's looking pretty darn good. Okay, to know what these indicators are, you just go back to the videos on TLT and UGAZ, UGAZ. So I won't waste time explaining that. On here, this upper plot, that's price on UUP, and UUP happens to be an ETF, bullish dollar index ETF. And what I'm going to point out now might be of special interest. It'd be of interest to any kind of trader, but of special interest to those who trade longer cycles. This is a daily chart, but it would look the same even on a 10-minute chart that you zoomed out from, or an hourly chart, whatever. Alright, let's slide back to the start of this period here. And what I want to point out, first off, notice how Starlight, as it comes up over the signal line, it indicates the continuation of an uptrend. Now, the blue and purple lines of Starlight, that is actually price, okay? It's the high and low of price. So the excitement is generated actually by the signal line, the red and green. So let me mark a point here. Let's use a nice fat line and mark a point where Starlight begins to begins to cross the red and green. And then what I'll do is zoom in so you can see what happens. Okay? In fact, if you expand your YouTube screen to a full screen, you could actually see a lot of this a lot better without me expanding it. So notice what's happening. Starlight is declining, and it just like price, so it's trending downward. And just as it enters and starts to cross the signal lines, the red and green, it gets really dramatic. The plunge starts to be really dramatic, and it comes out below, and then as it starts to tilt back up towards its own signal line, price of course follows along. But then when it can't get through the signal line and it begins to decline again, you get this dramatic drop. So that's one thing to notice. Another important point of interest is how arbitrage, KingMaker arbitrage, this indicator here, when the purple is above the red, that means you have an uptrend in progress. Once it crosses below the red, you have a downtrend in progress. Let me mark some things and then we can zoom in. Okay, let's mark this from right here, where you see the purple coming down below the red. And I'm going to drive that right up to where price begins to drop there. And then we will zoom in on KingMaker arbitrage, and you can see that cross right there, okay? And then let's scroll up and follow that line, and you can see the dramatic drop that begins. Finally, let's take a look at this rather long uptrend over here, and what that, with arbitrage I'm talking about. And all along the way, purple stays above, except right here. It dips down below, and you can see price follows along. But most of the time, arbitrage is continuing to stay above the red, and it stays above and stays above. And then right there, where it dips below, price starts coming down. So, it appears, as I said before, that KingMaker Forex does work on stocks. I will keep testing and showing you examples. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Dennis, KingMakerForex.com.